you work for the next position you want, or you dress up for the next position you want. And I totally resonate with you there. How does Papa John's stay on top of their game?
It is an extremely complex world now because the business landscape has changed dramatically, and it's unbelievable the way it has changed. How 90s evolved into 2000s, and then the teens and the 2020s are just, it's unbelievable. Yeah, what happened was in the 90s, we had the advent of satellite TV. So suddenly people started receiving live sports, movies on screen at home. And so what used to happen in the early 90s, people going out to eat, now they started blending it with staying at home. So in this region, delivery started in the 90s, but primarily only by pizza restaurants. Nobody else was doing deliveries. Now Gen Z has started realizing that there is something called experience while dining outside.
Absolutely.
I don't know where that's going to go, because very soon the business landscape is going to be dominated by Generation Alpha, the kids who were born around 2010 or thereabouts. They will become teenagers soon. They'll start spending their money. And once 2030s come, and that will be the largest consumer set in 2030s, Generation Alpha. We have an app that has a wonderful tier system. You have bronze, silver, gold, and then platinum. And there are perks for each tier. We, in fact, recently launched a wonderful innovation called Crispy Palm. And during the launch, we invited all our platinum customers to one of our restaurants for obviously a complimentary taste of Crispy Palm. And they were so happy. It was a fantastic event. But so going back to, we treat our customers just right through the app.
Totally.
And we stay in touch with them through push notifications and through, currently we have a game that we have pushed out to them that you can play. That we have different crusts. You can match one against the other and win prizes.
Oh, wow.
So we gamify these things and make sure that we are regularly in contact with our customers.
Like you said, your marketing team is amazing with what they do with all the trends coming on. So one thing based on what you spoke about, the Gen Z, the teenagers, Tapan Sir, you've transformed the landscape here in the UAE, followed by Saudi Arabia and Jordan. So what's the new landscape you're looking at?
The new landscape is India. It's
Wow.
a huge market. We have signed on a development agreement with Papa John's International to develop India with 650 restaurants in 10 years. So that's a big commitment. The known phrase is grass is greener on the other side.
Absolutely.
And people always tend to interpret the neighbor's lawn as more lush than yours.
I agree.
And I just can't live with that, because
Totally.
it is always in your own control to decide and execute the quality of water you want to pour on your lawn.
True.
The quality of nutrients or the fertilizers you want to use to make sure your lawn is as green and lush as possible. So it's about taking care of yourself through your own abilities and skill sets, rather than look at your neighbor
Absolutely.
and complain why he's being given more, why he's... No, it's you and yourself. And yes, if you're in a team, be a team player, but at the same time, do not look at the next team member, your colleague, and say that why him and why not me, because it is you who's in control of yourself.
Totally.
And that's what I really mean by saying grass is green where you water it.
Yeah, because I had read this quote earlier sometime back, and I'm like, that's so true, because like they say, you work for the next position you want, or you dress up for the next position you want. And I totally resonate with you there. Tapan Sir, in a crowded market with so many pizza brands, well-known established brands as well, and some as competition, how does Papa John's stay on top of their game? How do you preserve and keep up to your secret recipes? And how do, if I may use the word, how do you avoid poaching your own stuff from competition?
It is an extremely complex world now Because the business landscape has changed dramatically, and it's unbelievable the way it has changed. I mean, what it was in the 80s, what it was in the 90s, how 90s evolved into the year, the 2000s, and then the teens and the 2020s are just, it's unbelievable. I mean, I talked about even 90s. Let's talk about pizza restaurants in the 90s. We had proper dining restaurants where we would open the door, families would come, they would enjoy a hot pizza, they'll share a hot large pizza, they'll probably do a salad bar or something or the other. Yes,
bar, yeah.
People will do that and then go home, and they will remember that it was a great memory that we created inside restaurant for families who dined. That quickly changed with the advent of, and I'm talking about this region, not really the US. US was a few years ahead of this region, and Europe was probably between the US and this region. But here what happened was in the 90s, we had the advent of satellite TV. So suddenly people started receiving live sports, movies, etc. on a screen at home. And so what used to happen in the early 90s, people going out to eat, now they started blending it with staying at home. And then when people did not want to cook, they would come drive to the restaurant and do a takeaway.
Okay.
That started. And then pizza segment, especially in 90s, realized that instead of making people come to your restaurants, why don't we think of delivering? Okay. So in this region, delivery started in the 90s, but primarily only by pizza restaurants. Nobody else was doing deliveries. Then came 2000s, and internet started playing a part in people's lives. And we had later on Netflix and all the streaming OTT platforms. So now Gen Z has only seen, all these years post 2010.
Absolutely.
They simply believe in tapping their phones to place an order. They believe in convenience over anything else. Although that is changing, I think after COVID. COVID strengthened that behavior, but I think post-COVID, now Gen Z has started realizing that there is something called experience while dining outside.
Absolutely.
I don't know where that's going to go, because very soon the business landscape is going to be dominated by Generation Alpha.
Absolutely.
The kids who were born around, 2010 or thereabouts, they will become teenagers soon. They'll start spending their money. And once 2030s come, and that will be the largest consumer set in 2030s, Generation Alpha. And if I'm around in this sphere back in 2030s, I will be looking at their behavior, the trends they are setting, and try to cater to them, because they will rule the roost. Going back to the current landscape where you have so many pizza players, it's really difficult. It is, and there are some respectable brands from around the world in UAE. It is not easy. And what makes it even more complex is the fact that you have multiple aggregators in play. Now, aggregators dominating the business landscape is one thing, which also is never desired by operators.
Absolutely.
But now you have multiple operators. You have the likes of Talabat, Deliveroo, Noon, Kareem, and there are many more. So not only you are fighting or competing against world-class pizza brands, you're also trying to work with aggregators while paying big commissions to them.
Absolutely.
You're also trying to work with them to ensure that you remain on top within their platforms. So it's a highly complex industry, and it is not easy. We are managing, because we have a great marketing team. We have a great operating team in our restaurants. We have over the years realized what are the triggers, what are the levers we must pull in order to ensure that we tick off all the boxes. As far as competition is concerned, our best weapon is quality of our pizzas. The brand promise is very clear: better ingredients, better pizza.
Better pizza.
So we make sure that all our gold standard ingredients, we never compromise. They are only procured from spec vendors, and the standards are trained. Everyone is trained so well in each location that every pizza that comes out is exactly how it should be made. We have audits in place to ensure that it's all happening. That has been helping us tick off the box of at least staying on the surface versus competition. As far as aggregators are concerned, we have really changed our attitude towards them over the last 4 or 5 years. It's better to work with them rather than not work with them, because they have a business model to protect, and they will do that no matter what.
They would.
So the right thing to do is work with them, and we've done that very well. We have excellent relationships with every aggregator now, and I'm proud to say that we have made really good strides on each platform in the last 3 or 4 years, and that really is a testament of the talent we possess in our marketing team as well as our operating teams, because the marketing may acquire customers and send them to our restaurants, but if the restaurant teams don't keep them happy, those customers are not coming back.
So one quick question on the aggregator front. Like me as a standalone restaurant, I depend solely on aggregators because we don't have our own fleet and a delivery system. How do you, whilst you said you have a great relationship with the aggregators, how do you maintain your slice of probably a budget that you've said that we need to get it from your own deliveries? Like for us, my home is a pizza lover. The Parmesan, garlic, chicken, Parmesan, I think it is, with the garlic sauce. And we would know, my son, again, 17, he'd be like, you don't go in, you order straight from Papa John's, then you'll get this, then you'll get this. How do you maintain that part?
Exactly, your son can answer this question.
Yeah, there you go.
We have a fantastic app where we have our own customers, users who use the app like your son. We stay in constant contact with them. We have an app that has a wonderful tier system. You have bronze, silver, gold, and then platinum. And there are perks for each tier. We, in fact, recently launched a wonderful innovation called Crispy Palm.
I saw that.
Pizza. And during the launch, we invited all our platinum customers to one of our restaurants for obviously a complimentary taste of Crispy Palm, and they were so happy. It was a fantastic event. But so going back to, we treat our customers just right through the app.
Totally.
And we stay in touch with them through push notifications and currently we have a game that we have pushed out to them that you can play. That we have different crusts. You can match one against the other and win prizes.
Oh, wow.
So we gamify these things and make sure that we are regularly in contact with our customers.
Like you said, your marketing team is amazing with what they do with all the trends coming on. So one thing, based on what you spoke about, the Gen Z, the teenagers. So for my son, it's either the pizza or it's McDonald's. So again, that's a kind of competition to you as well. And how do you because it could be a Gen Z or even you and me, you feel like eating a pizza, but like, oh, how about a McDonald's, or vice versa? How do you tackle that kind of competition?
See, everyone is a competition in a way, ultimately, because it's the meal occasion that everyone is trying to steal. And so McDonald's is absolutely a worthy competition. McDonald's is a well-oiled global machine.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of respect for them. And they are in your face all the time.
Absolutely.
They are spending millions on advertising. They are in your face. And there is no shame in having your customer also visit McDonald's, as long as you also try and do your best and get your customer to come to you. So, but yes, losing your customer to a competing pizza brand would be a tough pill to swallow. But allowing your customer to visit McDonald's, I am game for that.
Absolutely. That sounds good. Especially for those fries and that 1 dirham ice cream.
Yes. I believe the one has gone to 2 now, but
okay.
But no, it's still a great value product.
And even their coffee, you see, it's like for a fast food chain to serve that kind of coffee at a price with the Arabica beans.
No, absolutely. I think it's a masterstroke. Mac Cafe is a great idea, especially against the kind of prices the other premium brands charge.
Yeah.
As it happens, I'm from a generation where we never knew, that you would pay 20, 25, 30 dirham for coffee.
For coffee, yeah. Tapan Sir, I recently saw your post on LinkedIn about how you promoted 5 of your general managers to training general managers. So how do you foster this leadership in Papa John's, and how do you create that positive culture in Papa John's?
All employees really are, they have different needs, but the most common needs always include, apart from timely salaries, their needs always include personal development, growth, etc. And if that is not happening in an organization, employees are always likely to look elsewhere and move on. Fortunately, that's not the case with us. We keep growing, we keep opening new restaurants, so we make sure that there are more of internal promotions than external recruitment. And if there is external recruitment, it is at the team member level and not for restaurant management positions. And we have so many cases of people having joined as team members and now they are heading a particular area or operations. So in this particular case that you mentioned, we had 5 restaurant managers who displayed great skills in not only managing the operations but also their behavior with their team members.
Training.
They were real leaders, and so we have a program called converting a restaurant manager into a training general manager. And so they were trained, there was a written test after that and a viva, and then finally they were graduated.
So you have a pizza academy. Is that your own academy
Yes,
that they're trained on?
Exactly. We have a special area in our office that's the Pizza Academy, where everything takes place, very modern and technology driven. All the courses are tech driven, and everything is documented, and I can see on my phone who's doing what. They did very well, 5 of them. We had this ceremony, and very 5 happy bunch of people.
So you think the Pizza Academy could be training the other competition, or would have a academy on its own to train on how to do the pizzas?
No, obviously this is going to remain specially for Papa John's.
Tapan Sir, with your extensive experience in franchising, and correct me if I'm wrong here, what is your approach to franchising to the new entrepreneurs who are looking to get into the F&B industry? And what's your take on franchising?
The first thing I would say to anyone who's trying to get into the F&B industry is be careful, because F&B is not for everyone. And most often I see that the people who enter the F&B industry later on in their career tend to enter based on some fallacies. Like they think that, for example, we took the example of coffee prices. They would say, 20 dirhams for a coffee. If I can get 20 dirhams, then what would be my cost and what would be my margin? And that might... But the fact of the matter is, in food service, in our industry, if we manage a net profit of 6, 7, 8% on the dollar, we should be happy.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it is always not, I'm talking about net profit, but forget about net profit. Even if we can manage cash profit, it's good. Most of them don't realize this, and they think they'll make a lot of money, and they don't. Quickly they realize, and then finally the turnover rate in our industry is very high. Restaurants closing is just unbelievable.
And the competition.
As against other businesses falling apart. And competition, obviously. So this is what I would first say, that please check people's balance sheets, P&Ls, and see whether you have the stomach for this. And also check the kind of work required. Once you have your own restaurant, you will probably end up working hours that you've never worked in your life.
Absolutely.
So first thing is this, tell them about this, and then if they want to continue and get into franchising, then my advice would be that franchising is a relationship between a franchisor and a franchisee, and both need to be transparent. Both need to work together. None of them should have any upper hand over the other. It should be absolutely equitable, the relationship. That's how the agreement should be drawn up and signed off. And then both parties must come to the party together and collaborate and make the business a success. If that doesn't happen, if the franchisor keeps doubting the franchisee or vice versa, it doesn't work. This business is very straightforward. Teamwork makes things happen. Anyone who's not in a team just doesn't work.
So talking about the factors of getting into the F&B industry, like I always say, you get into an F&B industry if it's meant for you, if you're picked to be. Like for me, in that case, I always knew I wanted to have a cafe, connecting with people and so on. And then this restaurant came to me and I decided to bring in my mom's cuisine here. Would passion be a factor, sir? And then you eventually work on to, like for me, I was a newbie. I learned on the job and I went on there. Would that be a consideration to take on to lead a successful, or is it that you need to be experienced to do this?
No, passion always plays a part. Having said that, whether passion alone will save the day,
definitely not.
I doubt passion alone can save the day, because you need the expertise, you need the know-how. Ultimately, our business is all about making your customer come back.
Absolutely.
First of all, yes, acquire your customer.
Yeah.
And then make him so happy that he comes back.
The customer delight.
Absolutely. If that doesn't happen, then you can be as passionate as you want. If you can't make a customer come back, and your passion might make the customer come back, but what if the price you're charging is wrong?
True.
Then the customer is not going to come back for your passion because he can't afford your price.
Yeah.
You may have passion, but if your quality is not right, or if your recipe has something that the customer does not like, the larger section of the customers, then they won't come back, irrespective of your passion.
True.
Passion is important,
Yeah.
but everything else need to gel. Today, the as I said earlier, the landscape is very complex.
Yeah.
Every peg needs to fit in the hole.
True.
And then things can happen.
And it's very competitive. And speaking of that, I have a question to you, where you spoke of repeat customers. Our market currently, and if I'm not sure if it's here only in the UAE or elsewhere. I probably see it more in the UAE because I've not seen it in India so much when I've gone there. I think our market is spoiled a little with the discount factor. It started off with aggregators putting it off as a no work Sunday or something like that. And now that one Sunday is become every Sunday, which is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and so on. And what happens is, how do you know that you're this customer? Because when the discount is there, the customer orders from you, or if there's no discount or a perk, they don't order from you. How do you figure that part out?
You have to know your customers, yes, but it's not an easy process. Also, the makeup of your brand. Mm-hmm. We are a pizza brand, for example. Mm-hmm. We cannot do without discounting.
Correct.
Discounting, unfortunately, is in our DNA. Mm-hmm. And so we will always have meal bundles which are discounted.
Yeah.
We will always have a particular offer, say on a Tuesday, a buy one, get one free, which is not available on other days.
Okay.
And so on and forth. But that's where the brilliance of marketing comes in, where you look at your costs and then you decide how to manage your discounting, on which days to discount.
Yeah.
All the dynamics come into play, and then you have to decide what is right. But discounting for the sake of discounting and winning customers is never going to work, because, and this is something I would always tell someone who's entering the business, that do not undersell your product.
True.
You've got to price it right. If you don't price it right, if you overprice it, customers not coming back. If you underprice it, they will come, but then you can't afford the quality.
True.
And so it's not a win-win.
And that's when your product plays a vital role. And like you said, better ingredients, better pizza.
Exactly.
Because he might eat it on a Tuesday at a discount and he would like it and then order it over the weekend.
Correct.
So with so many years of experience in the same industry, how do you stay motivated?
As you age, and I said it's mileage, it's not age, but as you get to this level, you realize that a day will come when you might end up having to retire.
Yeah.
And that is something I don't know what I'll do. But what I know, that I'm not retired today.
Yeah.
I'm working. So
Yeah.
till that day happens, I want to give my best and
Absolutely.
as much as I can. So I am in office before 8 every morning. And I am knocking away what I can every day. And also you realize that all that this wonderful industry has done for you, when are you going to give back if not now?
Absolutely.
And so I try and give as much time as possible to such activities. Also, as you mentioned earlier, I'm on the executive board of UARG. So there we do number of activations. And this is how life continues, and it should continue. I would like to be able to give as much back as possible for as long as I can.
True. So, sir, that gives me to tell you something. Like they say nowadays, retirement is a myth, because as long as you continue doing what you love. So I would look forward to you probably opening up your own, restaurant, your coaching academy, where standalone restaurants like us could come to you to get coached on how to do well in our business. You think that would be an idea?
It's an idea. It's an idea, although I'm not sure how far I would want to be in an academy space, because I am more thrilled by making customers happy.
True.
And by that I mean customers who come, dine, feel good, go home and come back next week. So that is what excites me a lot more than a job of coaching. Having said that, I wouldn't rule anything out. I mean, because ultimately, even in coaching, you still have customers.
Absolutely.
And you still have your customers to make happy, who will probably recommend you to someone else, and so on and forth.
And it could be measurable.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Tapan Sir, you've transformed the landscape here in the UAE, followed by Saudi Arabia and Jordan. So what's the new landscape you're looking at?
The new landscape is India.
Wow.
A huge market. We have signed on a development agreement with Papa John's International to develop India with 650 restaurants in 10 years.
Wow.
So that's a big commitment. We are now deciding how to exactly make this happen, whether we will go to India ourselves and do this, or whether we should enter a JV arrangement with someone, and then that JV, in which we will have a part, will develop this. But it's a very exciting prospect. We are thinking of starting from Bangalore and then try and penetrate south of India first before heading north and west. But it's very ambitious. 650 restaurants.
And how soon is that, sir?
We hope to be ready to open our first restaurant as early as before the end of the year, or early Q1 next year.
So 2024.
2024 and before the year end, or early 2025.
That's amazing. I wish you all the very best, sir, on that.
Thank you.
So, sir, we're going to do a quick rapid fire with you before we leave you. So, pineapple on a pizza, yes or a no?
No.
Thank you so much, sir, because I'm a no as well. Your favorite cuisine, sir?
Indian.
Wow, that's mine too. Biryani in specific?
No, I like...
What's your favorite
all
cuisine?
All regional. Indian, really. I mean, favorite, I love food. So
What on the Indian do you like more, on the Indian cuisine?
So many. There's no particular. All over the place.
Perfect.
Yes.
All right. So what's your favorite pizza topping?
Italian sausage.
Amazing.
Any day.
So what's the most unusual pizza you've ever created?
The most unusual pizza we have created so many. I would say, and this goes back to your first rapid fire question of pineapple.
Okay.
But it is unusual.
Oh, no. Yes.
We had a pizza called Sweet Heat.
Okay.
That pizza had, apart from the crust and the sauce and cheese, it had pineapples and jalapenos.
Ooh. Okay.
So
Couldn't be a bad
heat.
combination, right?
Yeah,
I think it would be all right.
Oh, many people loved it.
Okay. All right. Probably the ones who like pizza, pineapple on
Exactly.
their pizza. Great. Okay. So probably on mathematics question, how many pizzas do you think you've served till date?
Oh, that goes back to your zeros.
Okay. With a number on the left side. Yeah. So if you could ever collaborate with a chef or a restaurant, who would it be and why?
So I've had a good fortune of working with Jamie Oliver for a number of years.
Wow.
I've also spent some time with him. I think his ethos probably stand out amongst all the celebrity
I
chefs
love
we
him.
know. So I mean, I've already had the chance of working with him, so can't complain.
Was
but
it the one that he had the outlet here?
Correct.
I
So
think in JLT?
I was not JLT, but if you remember, there was a Jamie's Italian in Dubai Festival City.
Yes,
Then there
correct.
was one in Jumeirah Beach
Yeah.
Hotel. I had those restaurants.
Okay, amazing. Great. So you choose my favorite chef. I'm so glad. What is Tapan Sir doing when he's not a CEO?
Golf. I'm playing golf and I'm not the CEO.
I know that. Early bird or a night owl?
Oh, depends if it's a weekday, early bird. If it's a weekend, it's a late night. Not if I have a golf round the next morning, but otherwise, yes.
Amazing. So if you could eat one cuisine for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Indian, because
Indian.
that's the thing. When I travel, you don't get Indian regularly, and that's fine. I can go a week without Indian, 10 days without Indian, but more than 10 days, it gets
When you
difficult.
come back, you need your the dal chawal or something or
Yes.
something. So what's your favorite type of music?
The Beatles,
Okay.
all time. I can listen to them anytime, anywhere. But yeah, I mean, all genres are good for me. But if there's one band I have to say that I can listen to anytime, every time, and sing along,
Is
that's the
Beatles.
Beatles.
Amazing. So if you could have one superpower, what would it be?
Oh, superpower as in a superhero. If I could eat and drink unlimited,
Wow.
I think that would be my superpower. That's the power I'd want.
I'm surprised because that's a little contradictory knowing your healthy lifestyle.
Oh, I know, but that's why. That's
That's
I'm
why.
yearning for
I think
this.
me too.
Exactly.
Great. So, thank you so much for being on my show. It's been a pleasure. It's really my honor to have you here. We've learned so much from you and I personally have been inspired with you and the way you've taken your journey from waiting at the tables to having so many outlets of Papa John's. I wish you all the very best, sir. And I look forward to seeing you again on the show someday when you'll have a new story to tell us.
Sure. Thank you for everything. I really appreciate being here, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
To our wonderful audience, thank you so much for tuning in today. Hope you enjoyed the episode as much as we did. We look forward to seeing you again with another fascinating guest on Culinary Conversations with Supriya. May God bless each and every one of you with good health and good wealth. This is Supriya signing off. Goodbye and ma salama.